All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday Night Thrive. I'm excited to bring some value to you guys. I know we've been off the last couple of weeks. I've had a crazy couple of weeks just moving into this new place and making some stuff happen for me and my son. And so I'm excited for this call, though. I'm really excited to deliver something that has really changed my life. Right? I want you guys to realize that the topic that I'm going to go over tonight. So I'm just pulling up my notes here. The topic that I'm going to go over tonight has literally transformed my life. It's what took me from struggling in this industry year after year after year after year to having a breakthrough. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know what this was when it changed for me, right? Like when I made the shift and I started winning, I didn't even know really what I had done until afterwards when I had learned about it, right? And so I'm going to teach you guys what it was, what happened when I went from, never making over $1,000 to $2,000 a month after, 5 to 6 years in this industry to in a 90-day period, going to, making 5 to 10K per month, right? So understand it flipped very, very quickly for me. But the reason why was because of one thing. And I want you guys to understand that if you expect to hit your goals, right? Who in this call, type some threes in the chat. If you expect to hit your goals, type some threes in the chat. If you expect to hit your goals, type some threes. Okay. All right. So if you type threes in the chat and you expect to hit your goals, I want you to understand what I'm about to teach you is critical. It is absolutely critical. If you expect to hit your goals, it must be something that you focus on every single day. All right. And part of this is mastering. All right. Write this down. You must master the art of visualization. Write that down. Master the art of visualization. Now, some of you, maybe aren't very spiritual people. You're thinking, visualization, manifestation, hoorah, rah, right? Some people think like that. But I want you to understand that there's science behind it. And I'm going to tell you the actual science behind visualization, because some people maybe don't realize how powerful it actually is and what it does to your brain when you do it. Okay. And so the science behind it, basically, visualization is very powerful, as you've probably heard through the law of attraction or manifestation or something like that. But what you need to write down is that, your brain has something called RAS. Okay. RAS. Your brain has something called RAS. All right. Write that down. Reticular activating system. Okay. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. What the reticular activating system is a network of neurons in your brain that filter all of your thoughts. Okay, so think about that. Think about how many thoughts come through your brain on a daily basis. A lot, right? And what your RAS is responsible for is filtering those thoughts, right? Imagine like we have like 60,000 thoughts a day or something crazy like that. Imagine if you actually thought of those. There's about 86,000 seconds in a day. So you're talking about your brain actually being able to receive a thought per second. That would be crazy. Your brain would overload. Okay. So these neurons in your brain are responsible for filtering those thoughts. And guess who has programmed this filter? Type it in the chat. I want you guys to really think about, who do you think has programmed your reticular activating system? Who was it? There's two things that program your RAS. You and the people from your past. That's what has programmed your reticular activating system. And what your reticular activating system does is it basically shows you what you want to see. Okay? Your reticular activating system filters the thoughts and lets it see what you want it to see. Who in this call has, maybe looked at a car online, a car that you wanted to buy, and all of a sudden you start to see that car on the road a lot? right? Has anybody done that? Type some ones in the chat if that's happened to you. If you've looked at a car online and all of a sudden you start to see it on the road, or even you buy the car, right? Like you buy a car and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I don't remember this many people having this car, right? I'll tell you what, okay? I bought an Alfa Romeo a year and a half ago. And when I bought that car, I was like, I have never seen this car before in my life. I love this car because I've never seen anyone have it. And literally, I bought the car, and over the last year, I have literally seen more Alfa Romeos than I ever saw in the previous like 25 years of my life. Okay. So understand that that's my RAS working because I bought the car. It's something that I like. Now it's filtering my thoughts to show me on the road. Understand there's so many cars going on the road. So how likely is it? How coincidental is it that I see the same car that I have, right? It's not coincidental. It's my RAS working and filtering out all the other cars that are on the road and showing me the one that I like. So that's what you have to understand is that your RAS always shows what you program it to show you. And so this is why you have to reprogram it, right? Because guys, imagine this. Imagine if your brain took in everything that you thought about. It would literally overload. And so all your RAS is doing is protecting your brain from the thoughts that you don't want to see, from overloading, and it just shows you what you like. And whether you realize it or not, you're always programming your RAS. You're always programming it. So every single word that comes out of your mouth, every single action that you take, every single move that you make, everything that you write down, every reaction that you have, every emotion that you feel, understand that you are programming your RAS. And some of you are like, wow, that's a lot to handle, right? So every move I make is going to determine how my RAS is. Yes. And I know that's crazy, but understand it's just like going and working out at the gym, right? If you've never worked out before, when you first lift those weights, it's ridiculous. So you got to start light. But as you start to lift weights more, you get stronger and stronger. You can do heavier and heavier weights. And you work your way up. And it's the same thing with your RAS. You have to start reprogramming your RAS to think about what you want it to think about. Okay. So you always must be programming your RAS in a positive way. So here's how you do it. Here's how you use your reticular activating system to get anything that you want. Because here's what happens with your RAS. If you start to think about it in form of your goals and what you do want, then guess what happens? It starts to show you how to get those goals and what you do want. But if you think about all the time how you're unlikable and how you're not successful, you know what your RAS is going to do all day long? Your RAS is going to show you proof of that all throughout your day. So if you're constantly having these thoughts and emotions that, oh, I'm an unlikable person, I'm not a talkative person, right? I can't recruit people, right? I'm not successful. Guess what? Your RAS is going to kick in all day long and show you proof that that is true because that's what you're thinking about. That's what you're visualizing. That's what you're feeling. And so your RAS is going to show you proof of that all throughout your day. And that's why the law of attraction really does exist. The law of attraction goes much deeper. It goes much deeper than just think about positive, you get positive. Think about negative, you get negative. No, this is why. This is why. Because if you think about positive, you're programming your RAS to think and see positive things. It's going to filter out all the negative thoughts and see the positive that you want. Okay? And so there is 2 steps to reprogramming your RAS. Step 1 is you got to figure out what you want. So write that down. Step 1, what do you want? Do you want a higher self-worth? Do you want more customers in your business? Do you want better health? Do you want a certain rank? Do you want a certain amount of money? Okay? You have to figure out what you want and literally close your eyes and picture it. Write this down. Clear picture. Crystal clear picture. This is important, guys. I need you to write this down. Step one to reprogramming your RAS is you have to know exactly what you want and get a crystal clear picture of it. If you don't have a crystal clear picture of of what you want in your RAS, it will not work. It needs to be so clear that it seems real. Like if you're just thinking about, some people do this. They go, if you've been to an IM event, you've heard everybody do it. Oh, I am a chairman, right? Everybody starts screaming. Everybody goes crazy. And that's cool that you're screaming it, but are you seeing it? Because it's not about saying it, right? Yes, you have to use all your senses to, obtain your goals. But I'd say the most important factor of achieving your goals is reprogramming your reticular activating system. And the way you do that, like I said, is getting a crystal clear picture in your mind of what you want. So if you want a higher self-worth, get a clear picture of that. What does that look like to you? If you want more customers in your business, picture, what is the picture you have in your mind of you having a business with more customers? If you want better health, what is the crystal clear picture in your mind of what your health looks like? If you want a certain rank, what does your life look like? What is the crystal clear picture in your mind of you being at that rank? Close your eyes. Picture it. Clear picture. It has to be so clear that it is real in your mind. It is a real thing in the spiritual. If you don't figure out that, step 2 doesn't even matter. Okay? So that's step 1. Get a crystal clear picture of what you want. Here's step 2. Write this down. You have to consciously think of the positive emotions that you'll feel with it. I'll say that again. Step 2, you have to consciously think of the positive emotions that you're going to feel with achieving what you want. So you have the crystal clear picture in your mind. Hold that picture in your mind while your eyes are closed. And then you have to get the feeling into your body of what it feels like. That's what strengthens your RAS. Your reticular activating system operates off of what you like the most. Okay? What's crazy is we scroll through Facebook, right? We literally scroll through Facebook all the time. There is 1,000 different words on the screen, but we always end up reading the things that we want to read, right? When you're reading a book, when you're scrolling through TikTok, whatever it is, anything that you're doing, when you're out and about throughout the day, you see the things that you like, right? It's funny. I was literally driving down my street this morning. My son, side note, my son loves donuts. Okay? Loves donuts. It's literally his favorite food. You ask him what his favorite food is, he'll say pizza and donuts. Okay? But donuts are like his favorite thing. There is hundreds of little tiny stores along the road that we live on. Hundreds. I'm talking about like massive road, little tiny shops all along it. And this morning, when I'm taking my son to school, what does he point out? The donut shop on the corner of the street. The one store out of 100 stores, he sees the donut shop. Why? Because even though my son is only 5.5 years old, he has a reticular activating system. And he thinks about what he likes, which is donuts. And so what does he see when we're going down the street? What he likes. Because that is what your reticular activating system does. It shows you what you want to see. And so if you program your reticular activating system and you're visualizing what you want and getting the feeling of what it feels like. Imagine if you visualize yourself being a chairman 10, making 6 figures. What does that exactly look like to you? What does it look like to walk across that stage and receive your trophy and get to speak in front of thousands of people and share your story? Not only what does it look like, but what does it feel like? What are the emotions that are going to come with that? Right? What does it feel like to have people messaging you and congratulating you from all over the world? Right? You have to get deeply rooted in that feeling, because what happens is, say you visualize that clear picture and then you get rooted in those emotions. You know what's going to happen? Your reticular activating system is going to go, wow, this is what AJ wants. AJ wants Chairman 10. This is one of his strongest desires. So what is your reticular activating system going to do? It's going to filter out everything in the world except the people, the places, and the things that you need in order to achieve that goal. If you're following me, type some 7s in the chat. If you're following me where I'm going and how crazy this is, type some 7s in the chat. Because if you guys truly understand how powerful your reticular activating system is, and you learn how to master it, you can literally get anything that you want. And this is what Alex Morton talked about on his live last night. He literally talked about how you can make as much money as you want to. You can do whatever you want to. And you know why he says that? Because he knows about the law of attraction, the reticular activating system, and that what you think about becomes your reality, because your brain will always filter out the things that it doesn't want and show you the things that you do want. And so if you have that burning desire to do something, your brain is going to show you how to do it. It's absolutely insane. And you know what's even cooler about this is that after you become married to the picture and the feeling behind it, it'll seem real to you. It'll seem absolutely real to you. If you actually do this correctly, if you visualize what you want and you get the feeling behind it of what it feels like to actually have it, you're going to become married, right? You're going to become married to that picture and the feeling of it. And when you become married to it, that's when it becomes very powerful in your RAS. Because your brain, I want you to write this down. Your brain does not know the difference between real and fake. They have done studies on this. That your brain does not know the difference between a past memory that you're thinking about and an imagined memory that you're creating in your mind. Think about that. When you think about something that's happened in your past, that's a memory, right? Your brain knows that happened. Your brain knows that's a memory in your mind of something that happened. When you think about something in the future happening, this is what's going to happen in the future. You're creating a future memory in your mind. Your brain does not know the difference between that past thought and the future one. It does not know the difference between it. Isn't that insane? When you think of the past, your RAS kicks in. And that's why you can't focus on the past. So many people are focused on the past and what's happened and where you've been and the mistakes that you've made. Guess what? If you keep thinking about the past and the past mistakes that you've made and what you've been through, guess what? That's why the history keeps repeating itself. History keeps repeating itself because you keep thinking about the past. And so what does your RAS do? You're thinking about the past. Your RAS is filtering your thoughts to get you the same thing that you've always gotten. That's why Bob Proctor talks about letting it go. You have to let it go. What's gone is gone. You can't change the past. And when you spend your time, I posted this on Instagram today, when you spend your time thinking about what's happened in the past, you're spending the only thing that you have, and that's time. You're spending the only thing that you have, and that's time. And when you spend your time focusing on the past, you're guaranteeing that the past or the future is going to be the same as the past, right? So when you think of the past, your RAS is going to kick in. And when you visualize what you want, your RAS is going to kick in. So you get to decide every second of your life, what are you going to think about? Are you going to let your brain, it's normal to have your brain think about the past and think about negative things. That's normal. That's going to happen. But what are you going to do when that thought comes into your brain? Are you going to let it seep and let it fester in your mind and get bigger and bigger and grow? Or are you going to eliminate that negative thought, eliminate the past thought, and focus on what you do want, and focus on reprogramming your RAS to see what you want to see, right? It takes 30 seconds, guys. It takes 30 seconds to visualize what you want. I'm not saying sit down for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If you want to do that and meditate, do it. I think it's powerful. I meditated for an hour last week. Pen, paper, meditation music in my ears. And I wrote down 100 things that I want in my lifetime. Spent an hour doing it. I felt so good afterwards. Because what was I doing? I was programming my RAS to see what I wanted it to see, which is everything that I desire, by writing all that stuff down. So you guys have to understand that another positive with reprogramming your RAS is that studies have shown that visualizing yourself doing things actually improves your ability to do it. Think about that. People are like, AJ, how do you get so good at talking? One, you just have to talk. How do you get so good at speaking? You have to speak. How do you get good at closing? You have to close. How do you get good at promoting? You have to promote, right? But they've also done studies on this, that people that visualize themselves doing a skill actually get better at the skill. They did a basketball study on this, okay? Hear this story. It absolutely blows my mind. They took a group of 10 kids. Actually, it was a group of 30 kids. So 10 kids, 10 kids, and 10 kids, 3 different groups. And the first 10 kids, they literally had come into a gym every single day for a week and shoot free throws. Okay? Literally, all they did was shoot free throws, practice free throws. Just physically practicing the free throws, those 10 kids, every single day for a whole week. Okay? The next group of 10 kids, they had not come into the gym at all. They never went into the gym for 7 days, and all they had to do was for an hour a day, visualize themselves making 100 free throws, right? So the first group was physically in the gym shooting 100 free throws. The second group didn't even go into the gym for 7 days and just visualize themselves making 100 free throws. The third group got to go into the gym and shoot 100 free throws, plus they had them visualize themselves at home making 100 free throws. You know what the results of that study were? The kids that literally sat at home and only visualized themselves making free throws had a better make percentage than the kids that just went to the gym, right? The kids that just went to the gym and just shot the free throws, no visualization. The kids that visualized and didn't even go into the gym had a better free throw percentage than the ones that did go into the gym. And what's even crazier is the kids that didn't even go into the gym and only visualized were literally only 5% worse in free throw percentage than the kids that went into the gym and visualized. How nuts is that? So them visualizing themselves doing the skill improved them doing the skill. Why? It's RAS. It's your reticular activating system working for you. That's how powerful this thing is. The more you program your RAS to see positive, to see solutions, and to see opportunities, guess what? The luckier you're going to get. You hear people talking about, oh, that person's lucky. You know why? Because they're always positive. They're always searching for solutions. They're always seeing the opportunity in everything. And why do you think some people struggle? There's some people that struggle day in and day out, just like I did for 5 years in this industry. Why? Because you see the glass half empty. You see the problem in every solution. You see a negative in every opportunity. And because of that, what does your RAS do? It shows you the negative. It shows you what can go wrong. It's showing you exactly what you're thinking about. So if you keep thinking about yourself in a negative state, you keep imagining yourself and feeling yourself as if you're this, ugly, out of shape, worthless person, guess what? Your RAS is going to kick in and show you all day long why you are that. And you can sit here and pout and whine and complain and moan, but guess what? Your RAS is just going to keep kicking in even more and show you even more to complain about. So you can either keep doing it and keep whining, or you can make a change. You can decide, okay, I'm going to take every second of the day to reprogram my RAS, realizing that this one thing will completely shift your life. Guys, realize I could tell you to do nothing else. I could tell you to do nothing else but reprogram your RAS, and you probably have more success in the next 6 months than you've had in your entire life. Because that's how powerful this is. Every morning, every night, at least do it that's it. I want all of you guys that are on this call to literally take every morning and every night, literally 30 to 60 seconds, and visualize what you want, and then get into the deep feeling of it. What does it feel like to actually have it? See yourself opening your bank account on your app and seeing 6 figures, seeing 7 figures, an exact amount, right? And then what does it feel like to see that number? Visualize yourself, putting, handing over the check and putting a down payment on your dream house. And you see the house in the background, every little tiny detail of it. And what do you feel when you hand over that check? See yourself owning your dream car, driving it down the highway, windows down, music blasting. How does it feel to finally have that car? Right? See yourself speaking on stage in front of thousands of people, not being scared to do it, being confident, and inspiring thousands of people with your story, with the knowledge that you've obtained. What does that feel like? What does that moment feel like for you? What does it feel like to get thanked by your top leaders? You've brought in hundreds, if not thousands of people to this opportunity, and now you're getting thanked every single day by your leaders for changing their life. What does that feel like? Can't see it. You have to have the crystal clear picture, but what does it feel like too? Right? Clear picture with emotion is going to change your life. Just think about it all day long. That's all you need. I'm telling you guys, this one thing can completely change your life if you choose to reprogram it. Because right now, the way you think and the things that you're seeing is based off of how you've programmed your RAS over the last, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, however old you are. Your parents programmed your RAS growing up, and then you kind of programmed it with your parents as a teenager. And then you went out into the adult world, and you either let that RAS stay how it was, or you started to reprogram it in a positive or an even more negative way, right? And so now you're sitting where you're at because of how you've programmed your reticular activating system. And so I want you guys to really understand that this one thing is going to start to filter all of the thoughts that you have. And it's going to start to show you everything that you want. But you have to program it to see what you want it to see. So start visualizing. Start visualizing exactly what it is that you want. Get a crystal clear picture in your mind of what you want and develop a burning desire for it by putting the emotion behind it. Feel what it feels like to have what you want. See the picture, feel what it feels like, create that burning desire. And what's going to happen is your RAS is going to start showing you people that you didn't even know were in your life that start coming into your business and blowing this thing up. It's going to start bringing you to places that you didn't even think about, taking flights that you wouldn't have even thought about, or driving to places you wouldn't even think about in the past. It's going to start just speaking to you on what you should do. It's going to show you these things, right? It's going to start showing you these things. It's going to start showing you the people, the places, everything that you need in order to achieve the goal that you have. But you have to program your RAS correctly, and then you got to trust. I think that's the biggest thing that, people struggle with. And it's something that I've struggled with. I was on FaceTime with Alex Morton for 20 minutes the other day. And, I asked him, I'm like, how do you maintain that flow state, right? How do you work so hard, want something so bad, but then, maintain in that flow state and manifestation mode where you're attracting things to you? And he said one word. He just looked at me and he said, AJ, it's trust. It's trust. You have to trust God in the universe that they're going to provide what you want, because you have a burning desire for it and you're putting in the work for it. And if you trust that it's going to come into your life because you're doing those two things, you can have anything that you want. It was at that moment it just clicked with me that this is what I needed to talk about on tonight's Thrive Call, is reprogram your RAS. And then you're going to be able to put in the work knowing that you're doing the right things, and that you just have to trust that everything's going to fall into place because of that. But if you're not reprogramming your RAS and you're not putting in the work, then you probably aren't going to trust that you're going to get the results. So understand, it's those two things first, and then the trust comes last. So I appreciate you guys for hopping on. I didn't want to make this call go too long, but hopefully you guys got some value from it. If you did get some value, feel free to message me, ask me any questions about this topic or any other topic. I'm always here to help every single person in this organization. Like I said, a rising tide lifts all ships. I want to see every single person win within this organization, whether you're on my team or someone else's team. So I love you guys. Let's pack out the overview at 9 p.m. here in an hour and 15 minutes. And if you need anything, just let me know. Peace.